Six is back, and we got a good video for you today. We're going to do our UFL QB rankings. We're going to be doing a couple position groups as we go on over the next couple weeks, and we'll start at the QB position. So we're going to give you our top 10 QBs, who is going to be leading this league and who's going to be the face of these franchises. So without further ado, Mike, take us away on some honorable mentions.
First, we're going to be filling out the base for this list with our very special honorable mentions. These are the guys that have a low potential to start, but could work well in this league if they develop a little bit and end up having the opportunity no matter what the situation may be. They are also the guys to beat if you want to make it in this level of football. First, we've got the former Florida State quarterback and former Orlando Guardian, Francois, who is now with the DC Defenders. I think he will work well in a Reggie Barlow system should he be forced into the starting role, but he will be firmly planted on the bench for most of the season, aside from some multi-quarterback looks that might get a little bit interesting with Teamu being back. Our next guy mentioned honorably will be Holton Ahlers, the former ECU Pirate. Hasn't had a whole lot of success in the spring leagues, but he hasn't had a base like the Renegades, who will probably end up sticking with Perez, but we're intrigued about the potential here should the season go on and curiosities arise. Lastly, there's Reed Sennett, who's been quite the spring league journeyman and recently got cut by the Brahmas, so that does not exactly lead to a whole lot of confidence. He hasn't looked very in control in his little time at the helm, but he stands as the heir to Silver's abandoned throne in Houston, so here's to hoping for his quick development and hoping he does better than the last thing that was abandoned in Houston, i.e. the Astrodome.
Finally, to our actual list, we have number 10, bottom of the barrel of actual guys who made it, coming in with 6 points from our exclusive Pick 6 panel. We got Brandon Silvers, who's been a XFL staple at QB in back-to-back spring league seasons, or I guess 2020 XFL and 2023 XFL, but you know what I mean. Silvers would be a great, solid backup for any team in this league, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing this year behind A.J. McCarron. It would make me nervous if he was a day one starter, but the fact that he's a backup for the Battlehawks is going to be great for the team and great for the league. He gives the team the comfort and the ability to make it through a couple weeks if AJ goes down. So you're in safe hands, St. Louis, because you got Brandon Silvers to get you through those rough patches if AJ just gets hurt. Still think he could be a starter if he was on the Roughnecks. That's why he's on the list, but hey, he comes at number 10.
Next, we have Danny the Boy Etling at number 9 with 7 points coming in on this list, with some insane NFL talent being absorbed through his noggin, with him being on 7 different practice squads, over 9 different transitions as well, and winning a Super Bowl in that madness. So again, he has absorbed some of the best knowledge from the greatest football minds this world has to offer. He has yet to break through into any actual playing time with that knowledge, though, but the stage is set for him to display his talent and get some tape to do just that. His major hurdle will be winning the quarterback battle in Michigan, and then, of course, grinding out some wins in the combined league afterwards would be the next step of that process. He was extremely conservative with the ball at LSU, only throwing 7 interceptions over the course of 2 seasons with 27 touchdowns over that time as well. He has all the makings of a great run-first leading offensive game manager, and something that I believe will start off well in the new league. We'll see if he has what it takes.
Number 8 on the list with 9 points is the Ivy League legend, E.J. Perry. The former Brown QB has moved from practice squad to practice squad the last few years after joining the Panthers last season and helping them get into the playoffs, where they sadly would lose in overtime. Even though he had a phenomenal game, he has now returned and now looks to see if he can take it to the next level. Now, I don't think he is going to be a star in this league, but I have a feeling that he's going to be a solid starter, and I have him edging out Danny, and that's why he's number 8 on our list. We'll see what he can do, but compared to some of the other guys in this league, I just feel like he comes up a little short.
Next up, we have Quinton Dormady, who comes into the league in a bit of a question mark status. And that's what earned him number 7 on our list, with 11 points in the voting overall. He burst onto the scene halfway through the season with some of the most accurate throws we got to see from any quarterback not named Louis, leading the Guardians to their only win. But just could not exactly replicate that going forward to finish the season, and they did not end up closing out games, despite some early offensive success in some of the first few opening drives of their games. He clearly has what it takes to be a dual threat quarterback in this league, having had 10 passing touchdowns and 4 rushing in just 4 games last year. So quite efficient, although most of that coming from one game. And hopefully a bit more stability and talent around him allows him to show that he is the potential top 3 quarterback that we think he can be and not the bottom 4 quarterback that he has been in certain areas.
Before I get to who is 6, I just want to remind you that we are on the quest for 1,000 subscribers, and every person helps. So please subscribe. We really need to get Max a job that pays. Like, the dude's struggling. So please subscribe and help us out. Thanks for the support. And now let's hit you at number 6. In 6th place, we have former 3rd round pick of the Panthers, Matt Corral. He was highly rated coming out of Ole Miss. His final season of college, he had over 3,000 passing yards and 20 TDs, and even added 600 yards on the ground. He missed his entire rookie season to injury after getting hurt in a Patriots game in preseason, and 1 year later would get cut by the Panthers. With the Panthers drafting young, he found himself in no man's land as the 3rd QB, and just was a tough situation altogether. After a failed stint with the Patriots, he is now looking to spring football to try to create buzz he needs to get back to the NFL. He looks to be a backup early on to Smith, but with the arm talent and the ability of this young QB, I could easily see him being the leader of the Stallions and maybe helping them get their three-peat.
Number 5, we have Louis Perez, aka Spring Jesus, is back with 23 points in this voting. He is ready to rumble with the Renegades, no less, as well. This guy has found a way to win in every variation of the Spring League. He has been to the postseason twice in Spring Leagues and has an XFL championship under his belt to show for it. He's a known quantity at this point, but with the success he manages to have and his ability to play through the talent around him, it is hard to argue against using him in a league like this. Even being on hands down the worst XFL team in the Vipers for half the season, he managed to throw for 15 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Though most of that damage was done after he got transferred to the Renegades, thus the playing through talent part of him. He has great accuracy and an excellent trigger discipline for this league, and just about makes the top half.
The 4 spot got 27 points from the Pick 6 panel, and I think it's a fair spot for the 2-time USFL champion Jamar Smith. The former Louisiana Tech QB has had great success in spring leagues, teaming up with his former college coach, Skip Holtz, and has used that success to make him a spring league household name. In 2022, he had 1,500 passing yards, 10 TDs, and only 6 interceptions as he helped the Stallions to their first title. Sadly, he got hurt in 2023, and his replacement, Alex McGough, led the team to a title in year 2 and is now on the Packers. Let's hope he can stay healthy this year, be a little bit more consistent with his accuracy, and maybe if he can stay healthy, he could be on an NFL team just like Alex McGough.
With number 3, we have Jordan Teamu with 32 points in this voting panel by the Pick 6. Teamu is back, and we cannot be more excited. This man has had one of the best spring league regular seasons we have seen from a quarterback in the history of spring leagues, with 15 touchdowns and 3 interceptions while running for an additional 3 scores. He was the perfect match for running back Abrams and was super fun to watch last year. Their offense was prolific and went through 3 different players who all had a decent amount of yards per attempt. What knocks him down a peg was his rough games in the playoffs, with him throwing 5 interceptions on just 4 touchdowns and generally getting pressured into mistakes, unlike his former regular season self, who took what the defense gave him. The hope for him this year would be to raise a trophy and prove the doubters wrong in an ever more stacked spring league this year, with a lot of eyes being on him while he plays for the crowd for the spring league with the record longest beer snake.
Coming in second place is the chef himself, Case Cookus, with 36 points. He was a staple in the USFL the last 2 seasons, leading the Philadelphia Stars. He had 3,629 passing yards and 27 touchdowns in his 2 seasons with the Stars. His first season, he helped the Stars get to a title, game, and sadly, he would hurt his leg and not be able to finish, which a lot of people think if he stayed healthy, what if maybe they do beat the Stallions? But that did not happen. In his second year, sadly, his offensive line and shaky defensive play held the team back from making the playoffs. Now, with Memphis drafting him, I think he will have a chance to be a leader of one of the best offenses in the league, and it should be interesting to see if he can finally get over the hump and take down the Stallions in the new USFL division.
The unanimous first place winner with 40 points in this panel, AJ McCarron, rounds out this list. We have seen this man in action, and he is what we say a class above the rest. He truly does as a quarterback is looked to for, and that is elevate the play around him. This team is given a times 100 multiplier with him at the helm, and he can hit every throw that is necessary on the field. It is an absolute shame we did not get to see the man who threw 24 touchdowns in only 9 games in the XFL playoffs last year. I'm with the Battlehawks fans on this one and hoping we get to see as much of this pure passer as possible this year, as he is the pinnacle of quarterback play that everybody should be trying to reach.
This concludes our top 10 UFL QBs. I look forward to the season. As season ticket holders last year of the Houston Roughnecks, we had a great time watching, me and Mike going to every Roughnecks home game, and we are super excited about the new United Football League, and we hope these quarterbacks all have great seasons and the success can continue. Next time we'll hit you with our running backs, and until then, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and see y'all next time.